Imagine you're walking outside and it's pitch black dark and you're really just trying to find your way back home, but you can't see anything, and then suddenly a magic lantern appears that's illuminated and lights your path back home. Well, that is a metaphor for what you can do to get your leads to turn into customers after they opt into your email list. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany, and this series is called AI Business Step by Step, where I show you how to make money using AI videos. And to start any business and to make money, you really need a full funnel approach, and email marketing is one of the most effective ways to turn your leads into customers after they start interacting with your brand. So the magic lantern technique is not something that I invented, but it's something from a book I read called Sell Like Crazy by Sabri Subi. And in this book, he gives his full funnel strategy, which is different than mine because he talks about using paid advertisements, and I'm not a big fan of paid advertisements, especially when you're just starting out. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you his philosophy on email marketing and his strategy, and I find this to be extremely helpful, and I found it to be very effective in really following up with leads who interacted with your business but didn't buy from you yet. So his magic lantern technique is a metaphor for illuminating the customers back to the sale once they maybe show some interest and then just get a little bit lost on the internet or in their life. And they obviously want the outcome and the solution that you provide, because in order for you to have their email address, they have already opted in to receive a freebie. In a previous video, I showed you exactly how to create that freebie, and those tips were also in alignment with the book Sell Like Crazy by Sabri Subi, and I gave a full tutorial on how to do that. So in this video, we're going to go into what happens after they get the freebie. So this series that I created is kind of made like a premium course, but it's free to you here on YouTube, and like a course, it also has a workbook. So if you want to get the workbook that has a ton of resources and worksheets for you to actually apply everything in this series, then scroll down to the link in the description to get that workbook from my website. And for this segment, it has some really great AI prompts that are going to help you plug and play in order to get all of your emails written by ChatGPT. So that's really cool. So I'm going to go through the essential email marketing tips according to this book, and then you're going to take this information and create your email sequence and automate it. So tip number one, for the purposes of this AI business, I would highly encourage you to set up a 12-part weekly email series. And this is going to, weekly is a little bit more aggressive than monthly, but it's not like too spammy. So every week they're going to get a new email when they first sign up. And this is going to be a highly structured 12-part series that hopefully gets them to buy. And then if not, after that, you can just send out a manual monthly newsletter or something like that and make it more timely. Tip number two is for Tuesday. He says to send your emails on Tuesday mornings, or if you're doing 2 emails a week, then Tuesdays and Thursdays are the best. I usually always go with weekdays. On weekends, people aren't really checking their emails, and then your email will get lost with whatever emails come in on Monday morning. So definitely send your emails in the midweek, but according to this book, Tuesday is the best day. Tip number 3 is to make sure that the general contents of your email are either entertaining or educating. So you should always be providing value. I think that one is self-explanatory. Tip number 4, which has really changed the game for me, is to make your email design simple. I used to make these really elaborate email designs with all these colors and pictures and designs and things, and that is like way too overwhelming. People just want simple text. They just want to read it, maybe see a button at the end, maybe one picture, but it has to be like a very small picture size. And so the simpler the better when it comes to email. Just give them the value, keep it short, don't elaborate too much, and then give them the call to action. I'll get into the structure of the email in a moment. So the last tip, number 5, is to tell them exactly what you want them to do as the call to action button or link at the bottom of the email. So if you're selling a service, then it should say something like get started now. Or if you're selling products, then it should say view shop now or something like that. Whatever action you want them to take, write that as the button. Don't just push like click here or something like that. It needs to be more direct. It needs to be like a command. So now I'm going to break down with some slides the whole email structure and some specific examples so that you guys know exactly what's going to go into it. And again, if you want a whole template that helps you apply this using ChatGPT with basically no effort, then definitely get the workbook, which is linked down below. Okay, so here are the 5 components of your marketing email: subject line, pre-header text, lead, body, and call to action. So I won't read all of this. There's a cheat sheet available in the workbook for those of you who take that. But basically the subject line is, that part that pops up when you receive the email. And an example of this is how to boost sales by 30% in the next 60 days. So your subject line should be compelling, direct, and benefit focused. And it should promise a solution to a problem or an intriguing piece of information. And also don't make it overly salesy. Like, be very specific and make it really enticing, grab their attention, make them want to open the email. All right, so the second part of this is the pre-header text. And what this is this is the little text that comes after your subject line before you open the email, but it's not actually necessarily inside of your email. So it's just a little teaser that makes them want to open the email. So after the subject line, then it's going to say, sounds impossible. It's not. Here's why. And you really want to leave them on a cliffhanger for this one. So the goal here is to leave them on a cliffhanger and just really spark that intrigue. All right, then after that, the lead is the beginning of the email. So this is like the first thing that they're going to read. And what you're going to do here is you're going to address their pain point or present a scenario that they can relate to. So this should be something very relatable that resonates with their problem. And an example of this is you're struggling to make sales even though you have a great product. What if I told you there's a simple way to change that? So again, we're trying to build that intrigue, build that emotional pull, and get them to continue reading the email so that eventually they click the call to action at the end. Now here's the body of the email. And this is obviously the main content. And this is where you give the value. This is where you give the big message that you promised them. And here's an example of how you would start the body of the message. By using this simple 3-step framework, businesses like yours have increased their revenue by up to 50%. Here's how it works. And then you list through the steps of how it works. You can do paragraph, bullet points, but make sure it's easy to read. And bonus points if you have testimonials and case studies, and you can slide those into as many of your emails as you want. The more the better, honestly, because people want to know that what you have to offer works. And if they don't know if it works for them, but if it works for other people, that's a very helpful thing to know in order to get the sale. All right, so then the last one is the call to action, and this is the button or the link that encourages them to go back to the sale and buy from you. So the call to action should be clear, direct, and easy to act on, and you should make the text of the button or the link the next step that you want them to do. So whether it's book a call, buy a product, sign up for a webinar. So here's an example, click here to get started. And then when they click, they'll go back to the sale and then they will do the transaction and buy from you. So now here is an example of what output I get when I use my ChatGPT script, which is available in the workbook down below. So it generated all these different email subject lines, and it says it's going to engage, educate, and all that good stuff. And the whole sequence is going to flow from start to finish, and they'll get one of these each week. And then I will take each subject headline and also paste that into my second prompt, and then it will actually write the pre-header, the lead, the body, and even the call to action text. So there's a whole format that's included in the workbook if you want to use that, and then you don't have to put any effort into creating this. You just have to know what you're selling and who you're selling it to and what your tone is. So once you have all of your emails written and everything's ready to go, then you're going to go to your preferred email marketing platform. I use kit.com, which is what I showed you in the previous video to set up the lead magnet. And you're going to click send and then sequences. And then click new sequence, select this text only design option, because remember I said simplest is best. And then here you're going to enter all the text and set up your automations to trigger so that they receive the emails in the sequence every single week. All right, well, I hope that all made sense to you guys. This can actually be applied to any business. But the series is on how to create an AI business. And if you have any business that's digital, you need, like I said, a full digital funnel. And email marketing is an essential part of any effective digital funnel in 2025 and beyond. So I don't think email is going anywhere anytime soon. We rely on email to communicate with brands, to learn about what's going on. And a staggering number of people buy using information in their emails and their inboxes. I stated in a previous video that email is 40 times more effective at customer acquisition than social media is. So you definitely do not want to neglect having email as part of your funnel. Well, if you like this video, then be sure to hit the like button and leave a comment if you have any thoughts or questions for me. And definitely subscribe if you want to continue being a part of this series and seeing what other AI videos I come up with in the future. I'd love to have you in my community. And stay tuned for my next video in this series, because that is where this whole series comes together and I show you exactly how to use AI video to market and sell anything. And this is really the reason I wanted to start this whole series in the first place, because when I found this technology, I was like, wow, I can really market anything with very minimal effort using these AI avatars and their spoken videos. And I don't have to use faceless videos anymore. I can use actual faces that can actually get the messaging across effectively without me almost having to do anything at all. It's a very powerful system, and I look forward to showing it to you in my next video in this series. So definitely stay tuned, and I will see you there. Bye.